Why'd you turn down the $2 million?
Because $2 million ain't shit. Well, listen, without Tevin Farmer, the fight don't happen. So I want what I want.
Clown of the town for Monday, February 3rd, is a fighter that let the boat pass him. A fighter that let the parade go by. A fighter who let the biggest opportunity of his career slip by. Now, this same fighter, 5 fights ago, was making $60,000. That was his biggest payday 5 fights ago. You know what I'm saying? And this fighter is none other than former IBF super featherweight champion Tevin Farmer. Now, Tevin Farmer lost his fight last week against JOJO Diaz, a guy who he tormented and bullied and, you know what I'm saying, just wanted all the smoke with on social media, man. At every convenience, Tevin Farmer was calling out JOJO Diaz. He would show up at Golden Boy events and, you know, step to JOJO Diaz. He wanted this fight, man. He just knew that he could not lose. But that's not why Tevin is getting the clown of the town today. He's getting the clown of the town today because TMT Mayweather Promotions offered Tevin Farmer $2 million to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, Tevin Farmer, he has fought since he won his title. He won his title off of Billy Dibb. Since he won his title, he went on a 4-fight winning streak against James Tennyson, Francisco Fonseca, Jonah Corral, and the French guy. What's his name? Guame Francois. Now, those names are not high-level names. They are not names that you would know, especially if you're a casual fan. These are not elite fighters. But Tevin Farmer, you know, he beat on his chest because he beat these guys. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Tevin Farmer thought too much of himself. Now, he has stated that $2 million was not enough money. Now, you can add all them fights up I just named, and you can add those purses up that Tevin received from those fights, and all of them does not add up to $2 million, man. Tevin Farmer, you know, he was walking around, you know, he had a swagger to him, you know what I'm saying? This is a guy who lost 4 of his first 12 fights, you know what I'm saying? You got to give him credit for going on a tremendous winning streak, man. He won a lot of fights, man, you know what I'm saying? And he won his title off a guy, Billy Dibb, who was once considered a solid competitor, but it was found out that he was anything but solid. But Farmer and his team, they went over to Australia to fight Dibb. They brought the IBF title strap back. And, you know, Tevin Farmer, from there, he was a champion. And he walked around like a champion. He was happy to be a champion. And he carried that swagger everywhere he went. But to be honest about the situation, Tevin Farmer is yet to beat an elite level fighter. He is yet to beat anybody that, you know, would bring him the prestige of a $2 million fight. You know what I'm saying? But because of the drama, because of the attention on social media that Tevin Farmer and Gervonta Tank Davis had been receiving, TMT was willing to offer Tevin Farmer $2 million to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. Not only would this be his biggest payday to that date, but it would also be a unification matchup. Now, me, myself, I never thought Tevin Farmer had a chance against Gervonta Davis, but nevertheless, the fight was right in front of him, man. You know what I'm saying? And what did he do when presented with that offer? He turned it down, said he's worth more. He know his worth. Him and Leonard Ellerby had a few words on Twitter, and, you know, Tevin basically said, you know, that's not enough for me. I built this fight up from the ground up. I should get way more than that. You know what I'm saying? Tevin Farmer, in my opinion, was thinking too highly of himself. You don't get $2 million from beating Billy Dibb, Jonah Corral, Francisco Fonseca, James Tennyson, and Guame Francois. None of those guys, you know, put butts in a seat. Tevin Farmer does not put asses in a seat. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a gift that he would have received if he had chosen to take the fight. You know what I'm saying? I think he would have lost the fight. I think he would have lost the fight badly, but at least he would have got the $2 million payday and, been able to make a couple moves for his family. But since he was big-headed, may I say a little bit greedy, Tevin Farmer did not accept the offer. He rejected the offer. He started talking about how he's making moves outside of boxing. You know, he's doing real estate and flipping houses in the hood and things like that. Yeah, Tevin, you flipping houses in the hood. You may make, what, $30,000 off $100,000 investment. You know what I'm saying? Which is that's a good investment, Tevin, but it's nowhere near the $2 million you would have made had you fought Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, Tevin Farmer, I like him as a person, man. I was in Philadelphia covering his fight with Jonah Carroll, however you want to pronounce it. Had a chance to bust it up with Tevin a little bit, man. He seems like a nice guy. He's not one of those guys who won't give you his time. But, I got to admit this was a stupid move. Now he lost his matchup to JOJO Diaz, a guy who, like I said, he was pressing. He was pressing hard for this fight. Now where do you go, Tevin? Where do you go now? Everybody was already talking about how boring you was and how you need to, make more exciting fights. And now that you lost your title, who's going to be interested in Tevin Farmer? What promotional company is going to going to pay you anywhere near the type of money that you unfortunately thought you were worth? I do not see DAZN doing it. I do not see Eddie Hearn doing it. Tevin Farmer was, a rare commodity, man. Rarely you see guys who lose 4 of the first 12 fights come back and make it to this level. Tevin Farmer, I just don't understand why he would turn down such money, man. But nevertheless, he did. And therefore, Tevin Farmer, you are the clown of the town.
Why'd you turn down the $2 million?
Because $2 million ain't shit. Listen, without Tevin Farmer, the fight don't happen. So I want what I want.